Hey, welcome back. Today I did this bridal look. It's soft, elegant, and glamorous. If you would like to see how I created it, then keep on watching. Today I will be doing a bridal look. What I'll be going for is just more so of a classic bridal look with some neutral colors. I've already washed and moisturized my face, so I'm all good to go there. I will be adding a little bit of primer, and it is a hydrating poreless primer. It's from Minerals. This primer is really great for minimizing pores, adding hydration, and creating a good canvas for your foundation. I'm now going to go in with some eye primer. It's a eye primer from Minerals as well. It's just this nice like clear translucent primer, and I'm going to apply it with a Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush. Just gonna apply this product all over my lid. This is a really nice primer because it's specific to mineral eyeshadows, and that's what I will be using today, is all mineral eyeshadows. And then for my foundation today, I'll be using a liquid mineral foundation. It is in the shade Feisty, and I've just got a couple of pumps on the back of my hand here. And then I'm just going to initially apply this to my face with my fingers, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender and blend this foundation out. Using a damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and start blending my foundation out. Now that my foundation is all blended out, I'm going to add some extra coverage with some of my bareMinerals Bare Skin Concealer. It is in the shade Light, and I'm just going to go ahead and add this to my forehead just to add some extra coverage and highlight to my face. Add it to my chin here. I'm actually getting kind of low. This is my favorite concealer. And I'll run some down the bridge of my nose, around the sides of my nose, a little bit here under my eyes. I'm not going too much under my eyes right now because I will be adding some more concealer later after I do my eyeshadow. Just add a little bit here. And then to some blemishes that I've got that need a little help covering them up. And then going back in with my blender here, I'm going to go ahead and blend this concealer all out. Now that my concealer is all blended in, I'm going to go ahead and set everything down with a translucent powder. It's a finishing powder. It's also a Minerals product. It's really great because it offers SPF protection, but it doesn't have any shimmer to it. It's a nice matte powder that sets the foundation and the concealer so that it doesn't move around on your face. I will be using a Real Techniques powder brush, which is this nice big fluffy brush that helps just apply this powder just very lightly and nicely all over the skin. And then with the same setting powder but on a smaller setting brush, I'm going to go ahead and apply this over the eye primer that I put on earlier. And this just prevents that primer from creasing. It just helps set it as well. Now that I've got my foundation on and my concealer and got it set, I am going to go ahead and do a little bit of light contouring. And to do that, I'm going to use one of my mineral eyeshadows, and it is the one down here in the shade Soft Cork. And I'm going to use a contour fan brush, also by Real Techniques. And I'm just going to run a little bit of that on the hollows of my cheeks here, just to do a slight little contour. And it looks super dark at first. I'm just blending it upwards. Also going to take a little bit of that same shade, and I'm just going to run a little bit of that on the sides of my chin, on each side here. And then taking a smaller brush, a medium shadow brush, I am going to run this down the sides of my nose. And again, this is just for a little slight contour. Next, I'm going to go in with some bronzer. It's a powder bronzer, and it is in the shade Glow. It's also a bareMinerals product. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on a mini blush brush. That is a tongue twister. And just apply that to my cheeks here. Also taking some here on the sides of my forehead, on each side here. Just hitting the high points of the face, just adding some warmth back into the skin. I'm just kind of taking the brush in like a 3 kind of motion here on my face to just tie everything in. And also making sure to blend down the neck. And then for some blush, I'm going to use a shade that is called Enchanted. I'll show it to you. It's a little bit, it's really pretty pink color. It's also a powder product from bareMinerals. And I'm going to go ahead and, using my same brush, apply this to the apples of my cheeks. And this is just a really soft pink color, really just a nice shade that you most likely have in your collection. It doesn't have to be this shade exactly, just a nice subtle pink that gives you this really pretty glow and a soft glow, because you want to keep everything soft. For a wedding, you would want everything to blend nicely, and for pictures, all of these products, they don't have any flashback, but they are also going to be really pretty and photograph really well because they're all neutral colors that just really go well together. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start out with a fluffy crease brush, and in this shade Soft Barley Brown here. I'm going to start out with this and work this into my crease, using this as a nice transitional shade. I'm keeping this look really soft, nicely blended, and just a lot of neutral colors, so just your light browns, and I will be using like a light kind of shimmery pinky peach color. Just keeping everything really soft because this is a wedding look and I want it to be very elegant. And then with that same shade on an e.l.f. blending eye brush, I'm going to take that on my lower lash line. Next shade I'll be using is this shade. It is a nice brown shade here in Espresso. And I will be using my Essential Crease Brush to go ahead and work this into my from my outer corner into my crease. And what I'm doing for this look is keeping any of the darker colors to the outer corners of my eyes. That is to give the eye a brighter, like wider look, so it elongates the eye and pulls that, with the darker colors, kind of pulls your focus outward and keeps the inner parts of your eyes brighter. So that's the goal here with this application. I'm just continuing to blend it and work it into my crease a bit and in the outer corner of my eye here. And then back with my e.l.f. blending eye brush, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that Espresso shade and run that underneath my lower lash line, just on the outer corner here, just to help tie in this shadow from the lower lash line to the upper. I'm also adding a little bit more onto my outer corners here, just deepening up that shade. And I'm just taking my brush and I'm winging it out just slightly. I'm not adding any more product to the brush, but I'm just winging it a little bit out here on the outer edges. And then I can go in with my eyeliner and add a little bit more definition, because I'm going to do like a tiny wing on the outer corner of my eyes. Now that I've got my shadow blended out there and happy with this stage so far, I am going to go ahead and take the shade Idaho Sunset here, and on a e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go ahead and pack that onto the portion of my lid here that I've left blank. And this is just a nice, pretty, like satin white shade. Has a little bit of like gold tones to it, but very subtle. And so this helps with brightening up this inner corner. That looks really pretty. I really like this effect. And then taking that same shade, I'm going to run a little bit of that underneath my lower lash line here, just in the inner corner. And this is just to, again, keep the eye nice and bright and open on the inside of your eyes, both on the upper and lower lash lines. Now I really like this. It looks really pretty. I think it's a really nice, you know, contrast, like as a bride when, you know, you have your photographer having you look around and look down. Like it really is a really beautiful look as far as the lighter to darker at the corners. It's just, it's one of my favorite looks to do, really. And then I'm going to take the shade, it's Fuzzy Peach here. It's kind of like a pinky peach shade, very shimmery, and I don't want too much shimmer, so I'm just going to do, just going to pop a little bit of this on the center of my lid here, just to add a little bit more shimmer, because a little shimmer is good. And just do the same thing here on the other side. Doesn't add a whole lot, but it does add a little bit more of that shimmer to the center of the eyelid. I really like how that turned out. It just kind of added a little bit of that subtle pinky peach tone to my eyelids there. And then with my brush that I was using earlier with that Espresso shade. I'm not adding any more of the shade to the brush. I'm just using it to blend the colors here kind of throughout my crease and on the outer edge of the shadow here. And then for my eyeliner today, I will be using the bareMinerals Lasting Line Long Wearing Eyeliner in Absolute Black. It's a really nice eyeliner. It does last a long time, but it's also movable. And I'm just going to add this to my upper lash line. And just at the corner here. And then I'm just going to do a small wing with my liner here. And I'm not worried about being super precise because I'm going to kind of smudge it out and then add a little bit of that Espresso shade over the top as well. I'm just doing the same thing on the other side here with my eyeliner. Just focusing more on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm just taking it really, really close to my lash line toward the center of my eye, but keeping it very, very thin, just so that it blends down toward my lash line and there's no harsh line right at the top of my eye there. And again, taking this out a little bit of a wing, and then I'm gonna smudge it out. It's not very precise at the moment, but I am gonna fix it all up. I'm also going to add just a little bit on my lower lash line with my eyeliner here, just to help tie that in and keeping it very, very short. Not very far at all, like right about where the pigment of my eye starts. That's where I'm stopping. Right, and then taking my smudge brush, I am going to go ahead and smudge this liner out here on the outer edges of my eye, just to soften it up a bit, and also on the lower lash line. Now that I've got my liner all smudged out, I wanted to keep this, you know, very, very soft. I didn't want any harsh lines when it came to my eyeliner, so I smudged that out. I take just a little bit more of that Espresso shade. Goodness, that's a hard word for me to say apparently this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of that over the top of my eyeliner, and that just actually kind of also helps set the eyeliner in place so it doesn't budge. And then a little bit underneath my eye as well, where I applied some of that eyeliner. And here on the other side. And to clean things up a little bit, I'm just going to take a Q-tip and or cotton bud, whatever you like to call it. And I'm just going to clean up and sharpen the edge out here on the corner of my eye. And here on the other side as well. And then taking my fluffy crease brush that I did that softer brown shade, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of go over these edges just to soften them up. Then add any more product to my brush. I'm just simply helping this all blend together. And then to highlight my inner corner, I'm going to use this shade here in Starluster. It's just a really pretty bright shade that really helps the inner corners here pop. And also taking that shade below my brow, here on my brow bone. And then for a little bit more highlight on my face, I am going to use the same shade Starluster right there. And on an e.l.f. highlighting brush, I'm going to add a little bit of that to the bridge of my nose here. And then to the tops of my cheekbones here. What I love about mineral products is that they are very versatile. Can be used all over the face, and they're also very buildable, so you can add as little or as much as you want. Also going to take a little bit of that same shade and run a little bit of that over my Cupid's bow. Just a little bit on my chin, just very little. Not even adding any more, and then a little bit on top of my forehead here, above my brows, and a little tiny bit in the middle of my forehead there. Just a tiny bit. I am now going to add some mascara. It's bareMinerals. It's Lash Domination Volumizing Mascara in the shade Intense Black. This isn't a waterproof mascara, so on your wedding day you would probably want to use a waterproof mascara, especially if you're a crier. I actually didn't cry on my wedding day, so even though I was on the safe side and wore waterproof mascara, I still didn't cry. But it is also kind of nice if you're going to be dancing or in like where you're going to be in a warmer climate, then a waterproof mascara is a good choice so that it doesn't run just from all the activities throughout your wedding day. Now that I've got my mascara applied, I'm going to move on to my brows, and I'm just going to go ahead and brush them up with my e.l.f. Duo brow brush here, and using the angle side of the brush, I'm going to apply just a small amount of some brow pomade. It is in the shade Dark Brown, and just a little bit of this goes a long way. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of this. And for my wedding day, I actually didn't really do anything with my brows. And granted, I got married 7 years ago. It'll be 8 years actually in August. So brows weren't really like super popular at that time. At least it didn't really hit my radar. And same thing for eyelashes. Like the falsies weren't really big at the time either. This was in 2012, and I just wore mascara, and that's what I'm wearing right now, is just mascara. If I have time, I was going to add a little bit of Ardell Wispies, and I will just have to see if I have time for that. Alright, now that I've got my brows filled in, I just went for a subtle fill just over my natural brow, and then over the top I'm going to add some Physicians Formula Organic Wear Brow Shaping Gel, and it's just a clear gel. It's just got this little spoolie here, and I'm just gonna go over the tops of my brows here real quick. Brows are all done, and just what I like to do with my brows is I like to keep them maybe just brushed up a little bit toward the front, and then I kind of take them on over, and then it just kind of gives a nice just transition over with the brow. And then On to adding a little bit more concealer under my eyes. Again, using my bareMinerals Bare Skin Concealer in the shade Light. Just adding a couple of dots here underneath my eyes. I'm just going to take my finger and blend this out. And also blending it out on the other side here. And just when I take my concealer, as I'm blending here on the outer corner of my eye, I just usually do a little swipe to just help clean things up and sharpen this edge of my shadow here. It helps clean it all up and have a nice clean edge. And then to set my concealer under my eyes, I'm just going to use some more of my setting powder on my setting brush and just set this concealer so it's not going anywhere. And now that I've set my concealer, I'm going to go in just with a little bit more of my Starluster shade and add just a tiny bit of highlighter to the upper sides of my cheeks here where some of my concealer and setting powder kind of just got a little bit there. This will kind of help tie it right back in. Moving on to the lips, I am going to be adding a lip liner, and it is bareMinerals lip liner in the shade Borderline. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my lips. Taking my liner, and I'm also just filling in my entire lip, and that would be something I would do like for an event day where you want your lipstick to last. I know that some of your husbands or husbands-to-be may not want lipstick all over their lips. My husband, he didn't mind, so I got to wear whatever I wanted. But with like a lip liner and then like a smudge-proof lipstick or lip gloss even would be a really good alternative to just your regular lip products that do come off as if you were to give a kiss and someone is not going to appreciate that. So, but with my products, I'm not using any today that are smudge-proof or like technically long-lasting. However, this lip liner really does help your lipstick to last longer throughout the day. And then over the top of my lip liner, I'm going to be using a Burt's Bees lip crayon, and it is in the shade Niagara Overlook. Just going to apply this over the top of my liner. And then over the top of that, I'm going to add some lip gloss. It's another bareMinerals product, and I believe it's in the shade Brilliant. I always get this wrong, but I will definitely have it linked correctly in the description box below. I promise. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this. Here's the finished look. This is without any false lashes. I really like this, how it turned out, and also, like, I personally didn't wear any false lashes, but if I were to wear false lashes on my wedding day, I would wear some at just the corners of my eyes, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pop some on just because I want to, and for the sake of this video, so I can show you guys what it looks like. You know, they're the ones that go at the corner of the eyes, they stay on so much better than a full lash in my opinion. However, if you're good at putting on full lashes, or if you know someone who is, that can make sure that those stay on throughout the day, then that would be wonderful. Another alternative is to get eyelash extensions. That's something I personally would look into for a big event and special day like that, where I want to make sure my lashes are staying on and staying put, because the others do tend to come up at the inner corners in my experience, and if you have time to put some extra glue on, then you could still be all set, but I would probably go with those other options if it were me. I went ahead and added a couple of Ardell Wispy clusters here. There's 2 lengths, and I added a medium length to each outer corner of my eye, and then one of the shorter ones up here each on my eye. So what that does is that creates some more fullness to the corners of my eyelashes, and I think for an event it just really bumps up the look, and it also adds to the creation I'm going for, and that is to have the look pull to the outer corners of my eyes and keep the inner corners bright and awake looking. And I just think it's a really beautiful look for a bride, or even, you know, event makeup that you just want to just bump up the wow factor. And I think that this look gives you that, especially on the eyes. And in case any of you are wondering about the staying power of mineral makeup, I have wore these products for 8+ hours in a day, and really they just stay put, and they are really beautiful throughout the day. And there's always, I feel, with makeup, room for touch-ups, especially when you're having an event like a wedding. On my wedding day, I used Clinique, and it was a liquid and then a powder foundation over the top, but I still had to do touch-ups, especially like on my nose, throughout the day. I just feel that these products can have a similar result. I really enjoy them, of course, because they are good for my skin. I am very conscious of what I put on my skin, so these are my favorite products. However, there is definitely options for longer wearing if that's what you're concerned about, and you can also, you know, find similar colors and products to the ones that I used today to create this look. I really love how this look turned out. As you can see, it just is just really just an eye-popping combination, I think. So I hope you all enjoyed as much as I enjoyed creating this look. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I'll have that linked in the description box below, along with all the other products that I used today in this video. And until next time, take care. Bye.